So guys, now before proceeding further to discuss the data structures required to set up L2 switching functionality, first let us discuss the difference between a switch and a router. Many a times I come across that students have a confusion as to what devices are called switches and what devices are called routers. Are they distinct devices or same devices, or etc, etc. So if some interfaces of a routing device are operating in L3 mode, now whenever an interface is in L3 mode, it simply means that an IP address is configured on it. And if some interfaces of a routing device are operating in either access mode or trunk mode, then we say that that particular routing device is behaving as a router as well as L2 switch. So a node or a routing device by itself is not an L2 switch or router. It is called a router or L2 switch in respect of its interface configuration. So for example, in this diagram you can see that suppose I have a routing device and you can see that it has multiple interfaces. So this routing device is L3 router with respect to interfaces Ethernet 0x2, Ethernet 0x3 and Ethernet 0x5. The reason being that these interfaces are configured with IP addresses, right? So it simply means that this particular device is an L3 router with respect to these interfaces. Similarly, this device will behave as an L2 switch with respect to interfaces Ethernet 0x1 and Ethernet 0x4. The reason being that these two interfaces are operating either in access mode or trunk mode. Interface Ethernet 0x6 on the other hand is not operational at all because it is neither operating in L3 mode nor in L2 mode. Right? So this is the device with dual functionality, meaning it will behave as a router for all the packets that it will going to receive on its L3 interface. And this device will going to behave as an L2 switch for all the frames that it will going to receive on its L2 interfaces. So such a devices with dual functionality are technically called R-bridges. So henceforth, do not ever get confused whether a particular device is an L2 switch or an L3 router. A device behave as an L3 router or L2 switch in respect to its interfaces.